Okay, we're in 2 Kings chapter 10. I'm going to need this other Bible in a minute here. Last time we were talking about all the corruption in the country associated with Jezebel in the house of Ahab. It stems from the spirit of Jezebel, cursed woman, as Jehu says at the conclusion of chapter 9. Jehu was appointed to clean up the mess. And there's a mess both in Judah and Israel, and it's all associated with the house of Ahab. And he's cleaning it up. That's where we're at right now. But I asked the question towards the end of last video. All this effort, is it for naught? Is it irrelevant? Because think of all the long-term effects of having particular policies in place and how that influences the current generation, and then the next generation, and then the next generation, and then the next generation, to where we are now. Look at us. Look at how we're living in fear in this country over this virus. How has liberalism and the Democrat Party, how has it utterly destroyed the mind of the average American, to where just a bunch of rotting, fat sheep, worthless sheep. Worthless zombies. Think about that. Generation to generation. I go back to before 9/11. I was in the 7th grade. And I think about how much different it is from then to now. And how people, I work in a retail store. And I'm getting dirty looks because I'm not wearing a mask. It's like I'm automatically a murderer if I don't now conceal my face. That's how utterly insane the influence of all these Jezebel monsters have corrupted the minds of people in this country. So that's I'm just asking that question. It's very relevant. It's also probably pretty frightening when you think about it. All right. I'm going to begin in prayer, and we'll continue Jehu's rampage over the house of Ahab in chapter 10 in just a moment. Let's begin in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this time to study your word. Please teach us. Open our minds, open our hearts. Reveal to us your truth, wisdom, and knowledge. And please have all of your will in all of our lives. In Jesus' name, Yeshua. Amen. Now, it's never too late, Throughout this whole thing, God's offer stands. It's still there. And it would have stayed there up until Manasseh. Manasseh's, that's the last straw, I think. But from what I remember. But think about how many years, how many opportunities he gives us. It's unimaginable. He is unimaginable. He is infinitely merciful to me, to you, to everyone. But there comes a point where he says the land has to have its rest. It's had corruption for all these years. No rest, no Sabbaths. The land's got to have its rest. You're evicted. And that's what happens. But right now, where we are here, there's some hope. This guy's cleaning up a mess. But what is he going to do after he cleans up the mess? That's the question. That's the question I'm asking. Chapter 10, Judgment on the house of Ahab. Verse 1. And Ahab had 70 sons in Samaria. And Jehu wrote letters and sent to Samaria unto the rulers of Jezreel, to the elders, and to them that brought up Ahab's children, saying, Now as soon as this letter cometh to you, seeing your master's sons are with you, and there are with you chariots and horses, a fenced city also, and armor, look even out the best, and meetest of your master's sons, and set him on his father's throne, and fight for your master's house. But they were exceedingly afraid, and said, Behold, 2 kings stood not before him. How then shall we stand? And he that was over the house, and he that was over the city, the elders also, and the bringers up of the children, sent to Jehu, saying, We are thy servants, and will do all that thou shalt bid us. We will not make any king. Do thou that which is good in thine eyes. Because they know, it's written, kind of confusingly there, but basically Jehu is writing to all of the babysitters of all of these 70 sons, probably babysitters, personal trainers, cooks, all these servants that are honest people that are just trying to make a living. He's saying to them, hey, if you help me clean up this mess, I won't kill you. I mean, maybe it's not that ruthless, but that's how I would imagine it. Jehu means business. See him driving furiously in that chariot? This guy wants to take care of business. He's had enough of these. But he's going to town here. But they reply and say, oh yeah, we won't make one of these low-life little brats a king. You go ahead and take care of these monsters, a bunch of demon-possessed little monsters that I've been raising. And see, they've been raising them instead of, where's the father raising them? Where's Ahab to raise the kids? No. We gotta just have a bunch of babysitters, Can't have Ahab raising his kids. 6. Then he wrote a letter the second time to them, saying, If ye be mine, and if ye will hearken unto my voice, take ye the heads of the men your master's sons, and come to me to Jezreel by tomorrow this time. And the king's sons, being 70 persons, were with the great men of the city, which brought them up. And it came to pass, when the letter came to them, that they took the king's sons, and slew 70 persons, and put their heads in baskets, and sent them to Jezreel. And there came a messenger, and told him, saying, They have brought the heads of the king's sons. And he said, Lay ye them in 2 heaps at the entering in of the gate until the morning. Doesn't seem like they had too much attachment to those kids. But how it's written there, yeah, I guess they did kill them. You could interpret it, maybe Jehu was a little more threatening, Either you kill them, or I kill all of you. Take your pick, Doesn't sound like he was that violent, but that's how I'd imagine it. I don't know. So the babysitters slew the 70 sons, the 70 demon-possessed, Baal-worshipping monsters. And it came to pass in the morning that he went out, and stood, and said to all the people, Ye be righteous. Behold, I conspired against my master, and slew him. But who slew all these? Know now that there shall fall unto the earth nothing of the word of the Lord, which the Lord spake concerning the house of Ahab. For the Lord hath done that which he spake by his servant Elijah. So Jehu slew all that remained of the house of Ahab in Jezreel, and all his great men, and his kinsfolks, and his priests, until he left him none remaining. That's good. It sums it up. Because that's the question I was asking. What do you do after that? Did you take care of the secret places? What about the secret organization he made over here? Or that thing he left in this hole over here? Anything that attaches itself to Jezebel, I want it burned, I want it hung, get out of here. And he arose and departed and came to Samaria, and as he was at the shearing house in the way. We'll see if he continues to clean up the mess, but I mean, that's a good sum up there in 11, that he took care of the priests, the Baal worshippers, his kinsfolk, anybody connected to him. He's cleaning up all this mess. How many conspiracies, how many connections, how many allies, corrupt officials, corrupt judges, corruption everywhere. That's good. 11 sums it up. I hope so, that he got rid of all of them, but who knows? Doesn't seem like he got rid of all of them, because of they still end up getting sacked by Babylon, right? In the end. The corruption, the evil, you really gotta do everything you can to protect the next generation. The next generation, once you leave, then the next generation sees all this Baal worship. Hey, I'm in Baal, You didn't teach your children anything. The princes of Judah slain. 13. Jehu met with the brethren of Ahaziah, king of Judah, and said, Who are ye? And they answered, We are the brethren of Ahaziah, and we go down to salute the children of the king and the children of the queen. Bad move. Because you know what they're saying, right? The children of Ahab and the children of Jezebel, you could substitute in there. We go to salute that evil. Jehu's like, really? 14. And he said, Take them alive. And they took them alive, and slew them at the pit of the shearing house, even 42 men, neither left he any of them. He's pretty ruthless, isn't he? But I'm with him at this point. What I see in my country right now, it's so bad. It's going to get so bad. I keep hearing about these 100,000 sealed indictments, but nothing is done. Justice is not done in this country. Where is justice? Where is truth? Where is God? All I see is Satan all around me, All this corruption. Why isn't anybody making a stand for God? These politicians, these leaders, these monsters. That's why, right there, they're monsters. They're not going to take a stand for God. They're not going to take a stand for the Constitution or any kind of godly principles. Some are, some do, but the corruption is so prevalent. But Jehu's trying to clean it up here. Jehu spares Jehonadab, 15. And when he was departed thence, he lighted on Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, coming to meet him, and he saluted him, and said to him, Is thine heart right, as my heart is with thy heart? And Jehonadab answered, It is. If it be, give me thine hand. And he gave him his hand, and he took him up to him into the chariot. And he said, Come with me, and see my zeal for the Lord. So they made him ride in his chariot. And when he came to Samaria, he slew all that remained unto Ahab in Samaria, till he had destroyed him, according to the saying of the Lord, which he spake to Elijah. And Jehu gathered all the people together, and said unto them, Ahab served Baal a little, but Jehu shall serve him much. See, he keeps going. Jehu is furious, right, driving that chariot furiously. He's relentless, isn't he? And see, he even lies here and says, Oh yeah, we're good, bro. We're all right. Yeah! Even though he's putting on a facade because he wants to annihilate all the Baal worshippers. So he took care of a lot of corruption, but now he's looking at the religious side. All these Baal worshippers, probably a Baal college nearby. Elisha encountered that, right? With the Go up now, thou bald head. Where do those little young people come from? They're Baal worshippers at the College of Baal, funded by Jezebel. The University of Jezebel. Come, become a Baal priest. Only $19.95? No, never mind. Okay. So Jehu is acting here. He's acting like he's, oh yeah, I'm going to worship Baal. I'm the biggest Baal worshiper out here, bro. But he's not. He's trying to, get them all together, and he's going to exterminate. Jehu exterminates Baal worship in Israel. 19. He exterminates it. Exterminator. They exterminate roaches and pests and parasites. Extermination. Sounds like you're going back to Joshua. Wasn't that what they were doing? Wasn't that what God ordered? Exterminate these Canaanite nations. Just exterminate them. Okay? That's all you can do at this point. They're just, you can't make any alliances with them. Extermination. Sounds like it's the same principle here. No mercy. Exterminate. 19. Now therefore, call unto me all the prophets of Baal, all his servants, and all his priests. Let none be wanting, for I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal. We're going to have the biggest party, bro. Whosoever shall be wanting, he shall not live. But Jehu did it in subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the worshippers of Baal. See, he's not being up front about it. This is another indicator of why I associate him with Jack Bauer. The ends justify the means. He's willing to lie and act like a Baal worshiper in order to exterminate all. Whatever it takes to disarm that bomb, I'm going to do it. That's Jack Bauer. The ends justify the means. I don't know. That's questionable. Let's get back on topic. I apologize. 20. And Jehu said, proclaim a solemn assembly for Baal. And they proclaimed it. And Jehu sent through all Israel, and all the worshippers of Baal came, so that there was not a man left that came not. And they came into the house of Baal, and the house of Baal was full from one end to another. And he said unto him that was over the vestry, bring forth vestments for all the worshippers of Baal. And he brought them forth vestments. And Jehu went, and Jehonadab the son of Rechab, into the house of Baal, and said unto the worshippers of Baal, search and look that there be here with you none of the servants of the Lord, but the worshippers of Baal only. And when they went in to offer sacrifices and burnt offerings, Jehu appointed 80 men without, and said, if any of the men whom I have brought into your hands escape, he that letteth him go, his life shall be for the life of him. So he's saying, that's pretty strict orders there, right? Don't let any of them escape. If you let any of them escape, you're dead. Okay? That's an indicator. I mean, think about all the corruption all around him, He's got to be 100% sure on this. And he obviously, in 23, he doesn't want any worshippers of God, any of the true Jews, any of the true remnant to get wiped out in the process of this. He's gathering all this evil into one spot. He's going to wipe it all out. It's pretty ruthless, but effective. Crude, but effective. I like it. And none of this dancing around, It's what we're doing today. We're dancing with evil. Why don't we just call in the National Guard and clean up this mess? Does that sound horrible? I don't know. We're right there. That's how bad it is. "25. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, that Jehu said to the guard and to the captains, Go in and slay them. Let none come forth. And they smote them with the edge of the sword, and the guard and the captains cast them out, and went to the city of the house of Baal. And they brought forth the images out of the house of Baal and burned them. Good. See, you wipe out all these priests, but then you leave like, this is my Baal painting. Oh, it's so pretty, you know. Or you leave the satanic instructions for worship, you know. These are the instructions for Baal worship. Abduct a child, and yeah, it's horrible. Horrible beyond imagination. They probably left all those instructions behind. Jehu's making sure that none of this satanic, demonic, monstrous evil, just going to burn it. Good. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. 27. And they break down the image of Baal, and break down the house of Baal, and made it a draught house unto this day. Good. Or draft house, drought, I don't know. 28. Thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. Thank God. He cleaned it up. 29. Howbeit from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, Jehu departed not from after them, to wit, the golden calves that were in Bethel and that were in Dan. Sad, isn't it? So we see how sin progresses. You know, you went from the golden calves, then you got into the Baal worship. What would have been next, you know? Zardoz worship or something. I don't know, which would have been human cannibalism, just outright. Just everybody eating each other. That would have been great for society. That's where they were headed after the Baal worship, you know. So he gets rid of the current evil, which is the Baal worship. He annihilates it. He wipes it out completely. This sums it up pretty well. These chapters 9, 10, and 9 and 10. But then you still had the golden calves from Jeroboam the son of Nebat. Those were still sitting there. Nobody broke those down, and he falls for that. It's sad. 4 generations promised to Jehu, 30. And think about that. How Jeroboam the son of Nebat, the golden calves, led to Baal. You kill the Baal, but now you fall back into the golden calves. Where is that going to lead to? Probably right back into Baal worship. You got to go cold turkey. You got to completely wipe it out. See, every time, everything is half-assed. You know? Just not complete, 100%. You got to go to God completely. See, if you just do it halfway, you only get half of the problems out of there, it's going to grow. Sin is going to grow. Evil is going to grow in your country. That's where we're at. That's where they're at here. It's sad. But I applaud Jehu's effort, you know. But God doesn't forgive one sin, and then you think he's going to tolerate this sin. He's going to tolerate the golden calves. You think so? You know? No, he's not. You got to go all in with him. That's the whole problem today. That was the whole problem at the beginning of their taking of the country, right? In Joshua. They didn't do it all the way that they were supposed to. They were told to exterminate it all. They didn't. They failed to do that. They made alliances with it. And now here we are, this evil. Evil is allowed to creep in. And now look at us today. We're evil. We've allowed this evil to come in by our sin. Verse 30, And the Lord said unto Jehu, Because thou hast done well in executing that which is right in mine eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab according to all that was in mine heart, thy children of the 4th generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. But Jehu took no heed to walk in the law of the Lord God of Israel with all his heart, for he departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel to sin. So maybe this Jehu, maybe he was just, he had that moment, he had that heart for a little bit of time, and he took care of business, but then maybe it was the power that corrupted him. Who knows? But it's sad. He fell back into sin, basically. And he caused Israel to fall back into sin. Power of Israel diminished. 32. This is key. In those days the Lord began to cut Israel short. That's a key verse there. And Hazael smote them in all the coasts of Israel. Began to cut Israel short. Basically what that's saying, time's up. I've tried, I've warned you, time after time after time after time. If Jehu had cut down those golden calves, they might have re-entered a golden age, like right now, with Trump. I'd like to be hopeful that a lot of people think this way, that we're going to re-enter into some golden age. With some of the decisions he's making, though, now. And this coronavirus stuff, how we've all sealed ourselves up. And now everybody's got to wear a mask 24/7, It's not looking good. But I'd like to be hopeful. And I can shout at this book and, think to myself, Jehu, what are you doing? What are you doing? Burn those golden calves, And this is how it actually happened. Jehu fell away. And I think I think it was a good effort. And I think he did turn some things around for a bit, but I think he might be falling away again. Maybe he never was anything good. Maybe he was just a good actor, acting like he had the country's best interest. And now, maybe we're falling back into the golden calves. And I think God is going to cut us short very soon. You should be warning as many people as you can. Hand them out the gospel. Show them how Jesus Christ is their only hope. Yeshua. There's not a lot of time left. He is going to cut us short, just like he cut Israel short. He just can't tolerate this sin. Can't tolerate it. He's going to cut us short. 33. From Jordan eastward, all the land of Gilead, the Gadites and the Reubenites and the Manassites, from Aror, which is by the river Arnon, even Gilead and Bashan. Death of Jehu. Accession of Jehoahaz over Israel. 34. Now the rest of the acts of Jehu and all that he did and all his might, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And Jehu slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria, and Jehoahaz his son reigned in his stead. And the time that Jehu reigned over Israel and Samaria was 28 years. So, there you go. Jehu, or Jehu Bauer, as I like to call him, did a lot of good, but do the ends justify the means? Because of how it ended up. In the end, he fell away. It's too bad. But he did a lot of good. He wiped out a lot of corruption in the country, both in Israel and Judah. And we'll hear a lot more about Jehu in Chronicles, I think. It talks a little bit more about him. We hear a little bit more from another perspective. So I look forward to that. I always enjoy the story of Jehu, but gotta reflect back on right now, Are we wholeheartedly rejecting Satan from this country? The Christians in this country, are they really rejecting the sin in their lives? That's the question. And they ask the question, Where is God? Why is God allowing this to happen to America? America is number one. We're the best. We're with God. We're the true Christian nation. Really? Are you sure? Or do you got a golden calf sitting back there and you're secretly worshiping that? Same principle. All right, chapter 11, next time. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day.